So one of the benefits of working with the University of Bath, really closely with the University of Bath, and particularly through teaching on the MBA programs, is that you often have the opportunity of listening to authorities from both the academic world, but more importantly from the practitioner world. And on a couple of occasions I've had the privilege of listening to Stephen Kelly, who 30 years ago himself was a student at the University of Bath, but subsequently went on to be a very, very successful executive leader in very large organisations. So he was until recently the chief executive of Sage, one of the largest companies in the UK. Before that, he was the government's chief operating officer. Before that, he was working in America in another very large organisation. So he's been around the block in terms of understanding how large, complex international organisations operate. When he comes to the university to talk to students, he gives a very, very easy and accessible insight into what he's learned around leadership in his 30 plus years in executive positions. And he puts up a list of my 10 lessons about leadership. And on the 2 occasions I've seen Stephen speak, number 1 and number 2 has been ambiguity is the enemy of execution. And that really, really hits a note. Because ambiguity, or we might term equivocality, sits at the heart of the sense-making process. So what sense-making actually does, it reduces equivocality, or if you prefer ambiguity, into sensible chunks of information that can be processed into decisions and into actions. And this goes back to complex organisations. If you are overwhelmed as a leader by too much equivocality, too much ambiguity, which is what Stephen was saying, you are never going to execute at the right time in the right way. So what is one of his top 2 leadership lessons is absolutely in the space that we're trying to address with the foot down diagnostic. We are answering Stephen's need, trying to answer Stephen's need to reduce ambiguity into sensible pieces of information, which they then can turn into decisions and actions. So we think it sits at the heart of answering the leadership conundrum in complex, dynamic organisations.
Perfect. Pause there.